The tragedy of the 2021 King Soopers shooting was never more evident than yesterday, and that's when those who lost loved ones had the chance to talk to the judge before the killer's sentencing.
Star Bartkowiak spoke of a future without her daughter, Trelona.
She was murdered. She is gone. We will never see her again, never hug her, never laugh with her, never nothing. There are no words for a loss of a child or any loved one in this manner. It is unexpected and impossible to believe it's real.
Kevin Vaughn from 9 News Investigates joins us now. Kevin, you've been in court throughout the entire trial and, of course, all day yesterday. And in hearing those statements was really painful. I think there's like an obligation to hear it, though, right? After listening to everything that you heard in court, it's like you need to hear how these people have been feeling.
Yes, and this was an important change to Colorado law some years ago that gave victims the right to speak at a sentencing hearing. That wasn't always the case here. It was interesting yesterday because, you know, a number of people, almost everybody told some sort of a story about the person that they lost.
Yeah.
There were also some people that expressed anger and other emotions. There were people that talked about forgiveness. And there were people who read the words of others, which were powerful in their own right. And I'm thinking of a woman named Denise Donnell, who was a friend of Jody Waters. Jody Waters was killed in the store. Jody did not have family who came to speak, but her children wrote letters that they asked Denise to read, and we can listen to her reading a little bit of that now.
Someone so real, so pure, so loving, so selfless, compassionate and kind. The only thing that could take our mom down was someone else's hurt and anger. I hope she is free. We love you and miss you so much, Mom.
There was so much emotion packed into one day yesterday. Those people, those who lost so much, had their chance to have their say. But you were there for 3 weeks. What else struck you about this trial, all of it?
We've talked about this before. This jury, unbelievably attentive. I never saw a juror not paying attention. I think that's probably the first trial I've ever been in like that. And incredible note takers. I mean, they were, you know, somebody would be talking, you'd look up and 8 or 10 of them would all be writing in their notebooks. That was one thing. The other thing that struck me yesterday was, you know, throughout the trial, the shooter was dressed in a pair of slacks and a button-up dress shirt, looked like a normal person walking out on the street. The judge read the verdicts. He was found guilty. There was a short break. They took him back. He came back out in an orange and white jail suit with his hands cuffed, and now looked like what he was, a convicted murderer who was going to go to prison.
Do you think that was good for the families to see, too, when they got up there to speak, in a way?
I think so, because I think that they, all the people I talked to were desperately hoping that he would be found guilty, that the jury would reject the insanity defense and find him guilty. So that if they needed a symbol to see that that had happened, there it was right in front of them.
Some of the families spoke about wanting an apology, but the defense normally would have an opportunity to say something as well to the judge, to the court, to the room, and whether or not the defendant or his attorneys, they declined that.
They did. It's not unusual for a defendant to decline to say something, but I don't think I've ever seen a case where a defense attorney didn't say something. Yesterday, what the defense attorney said were that neither my client nor I have anything to say. You know, I've covered murder trials where there was no doubt in anybody's mind about the person's guilt, and the defense attorney still tried to make an argument for leniency or for some sort of understanding or talking about the fact they would appeal, and there was just none of that yesterday. It was different.
And 10 life sentences, is that something you've seen before?
We have seen it before from time to time. It really is symbolic is what it is.
Yeah.
I mean, 1 life sentence without the possibility of parole means this man will die in prison, barring some change in the law or something down the road. But the district attorney, Michael Doherty, asked the judge to make a symbolic statement to issue the maximum sentence on every single count and to run them all consecutively. And that's how we got 10 life sentences plus 1,334 years, because there were more than 24 attempted murder charges, each of which carried a maximum sentence of 48 years. And then there were some high-capacity magazine charges, there was an assault charge, some other things. She gave the maximum sentence on every single count and then stacked them all on top of each other.
This likely draws for most people the end of the line for this case, not for the people most
No.
directly involved. It may never end, and those people who, like you, had to be in court for 3 weeks and hear it all again. Kevin, we appreciate your coverage. Thanks.